With fish farming and boats coming to Farming Simulator 25 later this year, I wanted to take a look at some of the Giants maps that we already have and see how fish farming, fishing, and boats could be implemented into those maps. Now, obviously, I think the first thing we all think about is this area on Riverbend Springs, which very obviously is a fish farm. If you're unfamiliar with this area, it is right here. Most of you have probably driven over this bridge 100 times or maybe around and just not even noticed it or thought about it. There's quite a few entryways into here. We've got dirt roads down here as well, which technically you can get to, but you gotta do some fancy trickery. Not only that, but every entryway on the ground is closed up, so you can't get in there that way. You can jump over if you've got mods to help you jump a little bit better, or maybe line up a vehicle. Otherwise, it's a little bit difficult to get in here. Once you get over all of the gates, you've got this area here. Now we have three very distinctly different areas. You've got these smaller areas, which are long rectangles, slightly deep, to be fair, not too bad. We have these big circular areas, all connected together, by the way, as well. And then we have a big U shape, which has something that none of the others have. So we'll start with these little guys, the rectangles. All of these have little huts and grates in front of them. They're all exactly the same. At least we have three that are exactly the same. The fourth down here actually has a bridge that goes over it, and it features 4 areas down through here. 2 actually shallow areas. So very shallow there, but the rest of the channels are a little bit larger. So I'm wondering if maybe these could be 4 different productions where we've got maybe smaller fish where we feed them and that kind of thing. They pop out in pallets. Like this area right here would be a perfect spot for pallets. Hopefully you don't push them into the water, but I don't know, that's pretty cool, right? Then we get to the cylindrical areas. There's also a hut here with a grating out in the front. We've got 3 very small areas here. And then we have this opening, which I'm guessing to be maybe a channel under the pump house, which then connects over here. And then that connects all of these together. And they are quite large. My dude's sitting here floating, so just ignore that. I'm not Superman flying or anything. Then we got all of these. So they're all connected. We do have a bridge here, which doesn't appear to do anything. We'd end up like in the middle of that, so maybe it's for testing. And then we have a channel over here. Again, I'm not quite sure that that's going to be for anything. Then we get to the big U shape right here. This features the only connection to the waterway. So I would wonder, is this somewhere where like all of the water would filter through? Is this another fish production where we've got the grating right here? We've got areas around which could, suffice for pallets. We've got another gate here too. There's a lot of possibilities here. And now that we kind of get an idea of how things are working and some of the things that will be included with the expansion, it makes me wonder, like, how are we going to do with that? Oh yeah, and by the way, there have been boats around here for forever. This is actually one of the boats that they use for the crawfish production. It's just, it's an asset. If we go around this entire area here, I don't think we're actually going to see any more boats. Watch us not see any more boats. Nope. But it's its own island. If we go all the way up in the air, you can see. There it is. Fishing off with Riverbend Springs. We have a couple more areas over there. Logging, not quite sure what we're going to see there. Over here, I've never noticed that before. It's a canoe that's upside down. That's fantastic. You've got more little fishing areas right through here. So this has been a big feature, in boats as well. It's been a big feature on the map since the game has been released, but I'm not sure if anyone's even sat down and thought like, oh, what could be? Could we be getting boats? Very heavy-handed now that you're looking at all. Of course, we do have the ferry, and that's been fun. I haven't seen anybody use it in a while, but it is there nonetheless. That's kind of fun. It does kind of make you wonder as well, are the boats going to be like that? If they are, a little boring. Actually, I've always wondered, is this on a track system, or does it just know where to go? I feel like it just kind of knows where to go. At least with these. Yeah. I'm not pulling up any AI splines, but I guess I don't know how to pull those up anyway. Hey, little tuggy boat over here. Little guy. So cool. And it's got collisions. Man. So that's about everything that we can find here on Riverbend Springs. Obviously, there's more areas here, but these are exactly the same as the other ones that we've already seen, just in a different bit of a layout. Same boats, though. Actually, it seems like there's a lot more boats. Are these little tugs? Have these always been here? They're everywhere now. Now, there's also Hutan Pantai, which is another base game map. However, after searching this high and low, I'm actually unable to find any type of fishery or anywhere where you would grow fish. And I have scoured the place up and down. However, water still plays a really, really big role on this map. We have aqueducts all over the place, tiny little river areas flowing through, stuff like that. And of course, the huge port, which is way bigger than anything that we see on Riverbend Springs. However, again, nowhere to grow fish. But we do have lots and lots of boats. A lot of boats. We even have some spots right here where I think we could probably drive some boats up on it. Might not be safe, but I'm going to try it anyway if I'm able to. So I think, there's one. So I think this is probably going to be more for the port and getting in a boat and going fishing rather than growing the fish. You got to go get the fish. That's what I think, at least for this map. So yeah, there's really not a lot to show off. I think, unfortunately, Riverbend Springs kind of took the cake, didn't it? Hutan Pantai is very similar. Zielonka, not Hutan Pantai. What am I thinking? There is nowhere to, have fishery. Probably could put some down. Let's be honest, they'll probably have placeables and things like that for it. However, there is one thing that this map has that some of the other ones don't. It's got marshland. It's got a bit of marshland. As a matter of fact, small little areas all over the map. So my guess is that these will be full of fish, which they're currently not. But I'm sure they will be eventually. But yeah, it's pretty boring, pretty straightforward through here. I'm not sure, and there's no boats either. So this one may be a bit of a stretch, but I would be interested to see how they're planning on doing this one. I probably don't need to tell you that the Horsch map doesn't have a fishery on it. I think somebody would have probably seen it by now, or maybe it would have been missing some textures. But we do have some waterways on here. There are no boats, but there are 2 lake areas. We've got one here and one over here. They are pretty neat, and they are quite massive as well. They're not super deep or anything, but very wide. And here is your other one. Drop down. This one, a little bit deeper. So I would imagine, probably anyway, that at least these would have some fish in them, and that we'd be able to put some boats in here. I would assume anyway. My third choice would be this map, Silverrun Forest. So this was released in the year 1 expansion of FS25, so about 3 years ago, and I'm releasing this video. This has got a decent port area, no fishery, but water plays an extreme part in this map. Not only that, but we have boats that are driving around. Granted, there is nobody in there. That is the creepiest thing I've ever seen. But there are boats driving around everywhere. Now, there's big boats over on Riverbend Springs, and there's really big boats on Hutan Pantai. However, here, we got little boats. But yeah, little waterways going through. They're not super deep or anything. Like this one, I can actually stand up in. So there's that. But the rest of them, especially the ocean or the main waterway area. Of course, this is mainly based for logging anyway, so I don't think you're going to find fish here. But we've got lots of ponds, lots of areas. I mean, this one right here, this little, would you call this a lake or a pond? I don't know. But it's quite deep, at least for Farming Simulator water standards. So there you go. And plenty of boats as well. So I think this would be a fine map for doing some fishing. So there you go. That is how I think we're going to be able to integrate fishing and boats and that kind of thing of fisheries in general into Farming Simulator 25 on existing Giants maps. This is not to say that they will not be coming with modded maps as well. I imagine water is going to work the same no matter which map you're on, at least after November anyway. But nonetheless, I think that's going to be the one to go for. Riverbend Springs, obviously, that's got all the fish stuff on it, so that's going to be the place to do all the things. But tell me, what do you think? Do you think that Riverbend Springs is going to be the place? Do you think the new mod map is going to be the place for it? Or you got any other ideas? Maybe you got a custom map that you want to play on that you think would be perfect for this. Let me know down in the comments. Otherwise, have an awesome day. We'll catch you in the next one.